Hey guys, I'm sorry for the late video, but I wanted to go ahead and give you kind of an update and overview of what Module 4 will look like. I know you guys have probably started working within the module. I'm working on your cause-effect essays, your final drafts right now. Those will be in sometime next week because I'm slammed with getting rough drafts graded for a couple other classes here. So I've set up this module to where it's actually 7, 8, 9, 10, 4 weeks. You actually have 4 weeks to work on this final essay because it is considered to be your final exam. It's the last essay we will be doing in English 111. We finish English 111, if you scroll down to the bottom, on Wednesday, October 28th. So, and then I think we start up with English 112 on that Friday. So you'll have like that Thursday off, and then that Friday we'll start up with English 112. So for this final module, Module 4, this 4-week module, the way I've got this set up is the same way as your other modules. You've got the reading assignments. And guys, these are not optional. You should be reading through and looking at all of this. Okay, now the NC Live tutorial, most of you are familiar with that since you had to do it with the cause effect essay, but if you need a refresher, it's there. And then you've got, this is specifically about the argument essay. It's in Purdue OWL, gives some really good information. This is about plagiarism, making sure that you understand that it's not just copying and pasting from a source. There's several different ways that you could plagiarize a paper and don't even know it. So you definitely want to look at those resources. And then here, this is the MLA resources link that has been in every module so that you'll have it to refer back to. Now, if you scroll down, I've given here, these are some essay development resources. I've given 2. I've given the essay outline template, which I'm going to click on, show it to you. This is what you're going to use to create your own outline, because an outline is required as a part of this essay assignment. So now, granted, if you notice, I've got like 3 details in each paragraph. You may not have 3 details. You may have more than 3 details. You know, this is just generic. You can change it up to fit your topic and what you want to discuss. Now there's, you know, we've been working on just writing the 5-paragraph essay. You have the introduction, you have the conclusion, then you have all the body paragraphs in the middle. But if you look the way this set is set up, you've got the introduction, which has an attention grabber. You want to give a little bit of background information on the topic that you choose. And then you've got your thesis statement. That is that one statement that's usually in the last sentence of your introduction that tells exactly what your paper is going to be about. You have to pick an argumentative topic from the choices in the instructions, which we'll look at in just a second. You have to pick one, and then you have to pick a side. You don't want to discuss, you know, both sides all throughout your essay. You want to pick a side and really stick to it. And then you've got your first reason for your argument. Then you've got your second reason for your argument. And then you've got your third reason for your argument. And if you notice, here's an extra paragraph that's been added in for this type of essay. It's the counter argument paragraph. This is the paragraph that you're going to tell the other side, because in any argument, and there's no winning of arguments, an argument is successful when both people can see the other side. So here is your chance to present what the other side of the argument actually is. And so I have coffee brewing in the background, so that's probably what you're hearing. So here with the counter argument, if I'm writing about why uniforms should be required in schools, if I'm writing about that up here in my paper, that's my main topic, then in the counter argument, I'm going to write in there why people feel they shouldn't be required. I'm still going to tie it back into why I'm correct, why my argument is correct, but I am going to recognize that there is another side. And then you've got the conclusion paragraph. So that is your outline template. This is what you're going to use to fill in your outline. And the more specific you are in an outline, the easier it is to write your paper. You should not have any type of paragraphing or anything like that in here unless you just want to include a lot of information. This is just for bullet points. This is not necessarily for complete sentences, except for the thesis statement and then your topic sentences for your body paragraphs. The rest of it should just be kind of listing and notes to make sure that you cover what you need to cover. So there's the outline template. All right, and then you've got right here, I've actually provided a sample outline that's already filled in, so you can see how I did it. This one focuses on uniforms in schools. Okay, and I've actually, here's my thesis. School uniforms should not be required because it limits individuality, could be costly, and that should say disrupts learning. Oh, no, right here it says school uniforms disrupt learning. Okay, that's correct. So I've got my thesis statement here. And then I've gone down and see how I've listed each one of my reasons in my thesis. I've just gone down and said, okay, I'm going to talk about individuality first, about cost next, and then about how it disrupts learning third. And then my counter argument is the opposite. It's saying, okay, why do people feel we should have uniforms? And here's, my counter arguments. I actually had a couple. Like dress code wouldn't have to be addressed if you had uniforms, and it shows equality because students like to be different, right? Less bullying over clothes, and name brands and things like that. Less pressure to meet today's society with brand name clothing, blah blah blah. So this is a counter argument, but I'm still going to tie it back into why uniforms should be required, since that is my thesis statement. Okay. And then I've got my conclusion, which this right here is just kind of a brief. I've put down some notes to put down in my paper if I were writing it. So this is a good example. Nobody should write on this topic, by the way. Nobody should write on uniforms and why they should be required or not required in schools. But this is an essay outline for the argument essays. It's a sample, so please refer to it. Okay, then you've got actually you've got 4 assignments, in this module. You've got the discussion board assignment. That's where you're gonna click on it. You're gonna take a position, and then back it up. So let me click on that. Here are your 2 choices. This is just for the discussion board topics. This is not for your argument essays. These are not options for your argument essays. So please don't write about any of these topics right here on your argument essay. These topics are just meant for the discussion board. Is video gaming good or bad? Or is the fast food industry the root of America's obesity problem? You're going to choose one, and then you're going to back it up with some of your reasons. And then I want you to respond to someone else's response and let a conversation kind of happen. And you can also, you can agree or disagree with what someone is saying, but you always back it up and make sure you explain why. Don't tell them they did a good job on their post or whatever. You agree or disagree, and then maybe you have more to add. Maybe you could, explain why you agree or disagree, and then give another, type of reason or option to include, something maybe they didn't think about. So there is the discussion board. That's due this Sunday. Not this Sunday. It's due next Sunday, the 7th. Then you have assignment 2. This is the required argument essay outline. This is what I just showed you right here. Here's going to be the template. If you click on this, here's the essay instructions. So click on the essay instructions and let's look at them real quick and see what this is about. All right, you're going to choose an argumentative topic from the list I have provided here. You cannot choose your own topic. You have to choose from the list, and I've included a bunch here. So you want to make sure you choose one and then you pick a side. You pick a side and stick with that side. That's going to be how you're going to conduct your research. That's going to be how you write your outline. So definitely make sure, and you may want to play around with some of these topics to see what you can come up with. Or you may see one that really kind of interests you, and a lot of times it's easier to write essays that we're interested in. So as far as topics. So you'll choose which topic here. You choose one, and then the essay should be in MLA format like all of your others. This essay will be a 4 to 5 pager, so definitely you have to have at least 4 full pages. And then you have to add a works cited at the end. So it's actually 5 pages if you stick to the 4-page minimum. So the works cited is not a part of the 4 to 5 page requirement. It's in addition to. All of your sources must come from either NC Live, academic one file, or opposing viewpoints. I'm going to post a separate video showing you how to access opposing viewpoints. Most of you will probably use that database in WPCC's library rather than NC Live. It has lots of really good argumentative articles in there. So you should be researching from the databases. All resources must be documented, both on the works cited page and within your essay. Please look at my comments on your cause effect final drafts to make sure you are citing sources correctly. Use the MLA cheat sheet and that MLA resources link in Moodle for help. Here it just gives you the MLA format. You have to have a thesis statement, which should be easy because you'll have already, you'll create your outline first before you actually write the essay. See the outline on the next page. You must include a paragraph devoted to the counter argument. You want to proofread and edit your essay prior to submitting. Even the rough draft. You want to do your absolute best on this rough draft. And make sure you start now working on these things so that you don't get into a pinch and have to work on the Sunday that it's due. Remember, no late work can be accepted for this assignment. I'm giving you guys a lot of time to work on it, but whenever I have the due date set, I need them submitted so that I can get things graded and back to you so that we can end this course on time at the end of October. And then again, Wikipedia is not a source. You can only use sources from the databases. And then here is just again the sample outline. This is already provided for you in the template, but it's there now. So there are the essay instructions, and you will submit your outline. Make sure you submit the documents in the correct links, please. Discussion board due October 7th. The outline, not the full essay. You should not submit a full essay here. It should be the outline based on the outline template. That's due Sunday the 11th, October 11th. Here, your rough draft submission, October 18th. Okay, again, this is a required assignment. It has to be submitted, on time. It serves as your final draft. As your final exam. So if you click here, okay, I've given you the instructions again, but I've also given you a checklist. Please double check this checklist before you submit your rough draft and before you submit your final draft. And then you have, once I give you feedback on your rough draft, you will submit a final draft, and that's due by October 25th. Okay? So that is the module we're working in now. And if you have questions specifically about this, please do not hesitate to send me a remind message or email me or call me in the office. I may not be in here when you call, but you definitely can reach me on remind or through email because I check it all the time. And I will post a separate video here in just a few minutes about opposing viewpoints, that database. So be sure to check it out as well. Again, let me know if you have questions. Thanks, guys.